We're gonna do a little sound check just to get this shit right. Make sure everything is gone. Y'all give it up for these wonderful artists over here. Yeah, 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 yeah. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, check. Am I coming through to you? Just the drum and the bass, what? Let's start it.
My name is Alan Walker. I am the creator of Walker World Organic Artist Retreat. Okay, scratch that, scratch that. All right. My name is Walker World Organic Artist Retreat. Walker World! Walker World is simply an unusual castle on the river that's built out of found objects that I built over several years of time with what I could find, where I could find it. The place is extremely imperfect, but it's charming, and it's inviting. People come here that don't really even want to like the place because it's not them. And they come here and something happens to them that they cannot refuse, they cannot get away from it. It stirs something that they subliminally want it to stir inside of them.
This is awesome. This is awesome. This is awesome. Come on, man. Every belly flop.
It happens over and over again, and I'm there, of course, helping to extract that feeling, if it's humanly possible. And that really makes me feel good. It makes me feel good that I'm affecting people. I don't even realize it, but people have told me that, and I don't feel extremely egotistical, but I think that it's just true that people come here and it evokes a feeling, and it makes people feel good, and I feel good about that,
Yeah, you gotta see this place. Every time you come here, it's new stuff. So it's always fun to see what's changed. And there's always all kinds of different people here. That's another thing I like about it. It's a really wide array of personalities that come here.
No doubt about it.
He's just fun. He's like a big kid, and
Yeah.
I mean that's one reason I like coming. It's
Yeah.
like you just feel like a kid back here again. There's just all kinds of neat stuff that they all put
Yeah.
together, and just like,
Yeah.
only like what kids would think of putting
Exactly.
together.
Yep. And
So-
we like to bring our kid here. But the funny thing is, when you bring your kid up here and he's playing with Alan's kids, it's like full danger zone. It's like things that you don't ordinarily would be like, you have to watch out, be careful. And you're just like, okay, somehow it's gonna work out. But
We ready?
Daddy, 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 daddy. Awesome!
I have 3 children, twins, boy-girl twins, Ava Gray and Daniel. They are 8 years old, just recently here, October 3rd. And Sky Worthington Walker, my firstborn child, a girl, is 10 years old. The only reason that I am not completely out of control is my children. I mean, they give me, I built the house for my children. I built the house to show them that I could do something, because I'm not a businessman. I'm not a guy who's ever really done anything super amazing, that the rest of the world thinks is whatever, Bill Gates, or have a big company or get official in any way. I have this place, and I live here, and I just do my thing, you know. The original cabin that was here when I got the place was a 600 or 700 square foot log cabin, and I was here playing, goofing off, traveling to Montana the first few years, and I got married, and family started coming, children, and so I needed a bigger place, and it was a natural evolution to make a larger home. So I always lived in a beautiful place. That's just another part of my story. It's where I came from, and so I couldn't imagine living any other way. So after the railroad left Wilmington, it was completely abandoned. And there were houses that could be bought downtown, 5,000 square foot Victorian homes, you know, on 2nd Street for, you know, $4,500. And my mother was fortunate enough to have a small inheritance of about $100,000. And she bought 10 or 15 properties in the downtown Wilmington area for, you know, some of them were $3,000 or $4,000, you know. So I grew up working on rental property, trying to fix old houses and just kind of maintaining things from age, you know, 5, 10, whatever. As soon as I could do things, I was working on houses. And my father was a carpenter, and he did the same exact thing. So it was very easy for me to know how to work on a house, honestly. That's kind of where I came from, is working on houses. Here we are again at the, this is the main place that I grew up right here. The Rankin Walker house. When a guy buys a house for the first time, it's never had anything, and it's got somebody else's name on it, it's human nature to put your own name on a house. And that's exactly what my dad did. You can barely see the old letters underneath it. He didn't need those, so he painted over the old letters and put his own name on there. Yeah, whatever it takes, you know.
I'm David Walker, 72 years old. Lived downtown for about 45 years and raised Alan downtown. I was married for about, I think, 7 years. I can't keep up with how long it was. It was long enough to know better. And Alan was at my house every day of his life. And he'd go to work with me and help me do things. That's why he knows how to build things. I have known for not working all that much. I love to go out and enjoy life. He always saw me making things and doing things and creating something out of nothing, and that's where he got it from.
You know, I was married for a long time, and I said, you know, became not married, and I introduced myself to the world, and I did meet a lot of beautiful women, and of course, you know, Dad sees me about here and there, and I was like, Dad, you know, I'm catching up with you, Dad, you know, because he really was kind of a ladies' man. He said, son, nah, you're going way back. That's hilarious. I was like, yeah, he's finally proud of his son, you know. So it was really funny that, you know, there's this kindred kind of spirit there about, you know, enjoying yourself and, you know, not being upset because, you know, he was basically left by my mother and damaged, you know. I mean, it's hard when you love somebody and they tell you they don't love you anymore, you know. So I mean, we're all just trying to solve our dilemmas, you know. So I, you know, kind of dove into that solving problem, you know. So it's been very effective.
My name's Dustin Capron. I'm 39 years old. I've been friends with Alan for 39 years. Alan is more than a friend to me. He's been a brother, and I think that just comes from time, you know. I lived here at one point in my life at Walker World. It was quite different then. It wasn't as expansive as it is now. Even though he and I have known each other for so long, we'd never lived in the same place at the same time. So it was a nice time. He and Jamie were going through kind of a rocky period in their marriage, actually, and so she was gone for part of that time, and it was just really nice to be here together like that.
I met my wife on a blind date at Cafe Phoenix that was arranged by a very good friend, and we were to meet at this restaurant on Front Street, and I walked in the door, and the hostess, you know, said, "Can I help you?" And I looked over and saw her at the bar, and I said, "I think I found exactly what I'm looking for." And so that was basically the beginning of a beautiful 13-year relationship. Jamie and I did not share a similar vision. You know, everybody wants something different. I mean, my own vision changes. You know, everybody's vision changes. That's why when you tell somebody you're going to love them, you know, 12 years later, you know, there's no intention, but you know, you just don't know how you're going to feel later. Jamie and I's divorce basically evolved around just moving different directions. Nobody was really upset with each other. I think the reality is that relationships really have a duration, you know, and we long outlived ours, and she wanted to do certain things and I wanted to do certain things, and I mean, I think relationships are just really difficult.
And then after the divorce, I've seen a pretty dramatic change in him, and you know, I think all of this Walker World party scene is what has evolved out of that, and him trying to determine what his life is going to be like moving forward.
I mean, my new life is just been instrumental in my life. I mean, I needed this. It was part of who I am to not be married. It really is. I was always not in a group when I was a child. I was somehow slightly excommunicated from being a member of society somehow, always. I mean, since the day I walked into First Presbyterian kindergarten school, I was not part of the rest of the crowd. And that is certainly a small part of my story, you know. And I wanted to be loved by everybody then, and I don't know if they had me on a list when I got there or exactly what happened, but it simply was part of how I felt. You know, in high school, I was not popular. I was not really, you know, I was just completely, you know, introverted and doing my own thing, living in a cabin in the woods and, you know, drawing and painting. And I was very alone there. I mean, I wasn't very social, and I tried to meet other people, and I would always ask the world to do things, and they're always scared of everything. I mean, I feel that way today, even still, and I know everybody in town, you know. So this place has been some sort of, you know, indirect healing for a lot of things. Just people coming and inviting everybody to do things has been part of a story for me internally, to welcome people, and I'm almost you know, indifferent about even wanting it, but it's simply, you know, living alone when you're 19 years old in a cabin in the woods is great for 2 weeks, but you know, after, like, you know, 6 months, it's not necessarily the healthiest thing on the planet.
I can certainly see how everybody loves Alan now, you know, with this Walker World phenomenon, how everybody sees it as such a beautiful experience, but that's not the same as my relationship with Alan, I guess. And I guess just keep coming to Walker World and get to know him better, and you'll see a beauty in his person that isn't the first superficial one that maybe perhaps everyone sees and is attracted to.
On the highway, looking for adventure. Walker World, gonna make it happen. Take the world in a love embrace. Down by the river, on Blossom Ferry.
You know, the dichotomy of last night at 1 o'clock, which was 125 people, 3 bands, you know, 75 beautiful women, and to this morning at 11 a.m. when everybody was gone is a real shocker. So, I mean, that's something I don't think I'll ever get over. I mean, I can't understand it. I mean, it's like, you know, getting ready to go skydiving and then skydiving and then being back on the ground again. It's just, you know, it's an adrenaline rush to have 250 people with their arms around you, you know, singing, you know, it's fun.
Y'all give it up for